This
Okay.
conference will
Everything's good
now
over
be
here.
recorded.
So I'm
Okay.
just going to give you a quick introduction, and then we'll take off from there. And there's a bunch of people who are going to be signing into this meeting, and we're really excited to ask you a bunch of questions as well.
No problem. Okay.
Great. All right.
Okay.
So,
My name.
hold on. You go.
I can start
Well,
now.
no, well, I was going to let me give you a brief introduction. So I'm going to build you up
Okay.
so everybody realizes how great you are, because we already
Okay. No
know
problem.
that, but other people don't yet. So.
Okay.
All right, so Mohamed, who's here with us today, he's got his master's degree in human rights and public liberties, and he works as a legal officer. So on the joint project of the International Federation for Human Rights and the Guinean Organization of Human Rights, there's a lot of work doing with human rights, which is a great and wonderful thing. He provides legal assistance to the poor and advocates on behalf of them in cases of serious and human rights violations. And thank you so much, Mohamed, for coming in. This is great, and I'm glad we kind of squeaked out the technical difficulties, because this is great to see you, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
So can you explain a little bit, because I mean, what you do is such a great and important thing nowadays. Can you explain a little bit how you got into it? Like, did you ever grow up thinking that you'd be where you are or doing what you're doing?
No, no. I have a master's degree in human rights. I also have a license degree in public law.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, I never knew I was gonna study law. So I studied in Morocco. I left Guinea when I was 17. I left Guinea when I was 17. I went to Morocco, and I had my license degree in Fez. It's a city in Morocco.
Okay.
When I finished my license degree, I went to Marrakesh. Marrakesh, that's where I did my master's degree in human rights and public liberties. And I came back to Guinea in December 2015. And I started working with two organizations. It's a joint project. It's a legal clinic. They founded it in 2015, and that when I came, I started working with them. So it's a legal clinic, and we provide legal assistance to the poor and advocate on their behalf in cases of serious human rights violation. So I often visit the inmates in the central prison of Conakry. It's called Maison Centrale. That's what we call it here.
Okay.
Maison Centrale de Conakry. That's what they call it here. So my job consists of identifying and I interview vulnerable people eligible for the assistance from the legal clinic. I prepare the files and forward them to the lawyers who initiate the legal proceedings. I organize the planning of the hearings with lawyers and attend the hearings of the files of the legal clinic. I also participate in the drafting of activity reports on questions related to the legal clinic. So that's what I do here with the two organizations, both of them.
That seems like a lot. Just that, well, between two
Really?
organizations, it seems like a lot of work, I think.
Yeah.
Now, why did you get into the human rights aspect of things instead of maybe doing accounting?
I start because I think my country needs it.
That's admirable. That's great.
Yeah, my country really needs it because people here are poor. They don't have the means to pay for lawyers. You know, people are poor, and it's very frustrating to see people that way. So I thought I really had to get involved so I can help people. That's why I started working with human rights organizations.
Was there one in particular very important moment that inspired you to go this way? I remember, I asked you, like, did you always want to do this? Like, what was maybe a turning point where you wanted to follow this exact path?
No, when I was a kid, I didn't want to follow that path. I wanted to be a businessman, but growing up, and I was seeing people in my country. Most of people in my poor, they don't really. It's difficult to see people that way. So when I came back in 2015, uh, I thought that was an opportunity to help people.
Do you think that hold on, let me rephrase that. Are there a lot of people who are helping out as much as you are, or did you feel as though that you needed to step up and maybe set an example for other people to join in?
Yeah, not a lot. Most of people here, a lot of people in my country are not very involved in a type of organization. Most of people want to get money and be rich. They don't really care about others. That's why I got involved in a type of organization, so we can do better things for people.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the struggles of your people and what the position is that they're in right now?
In the position I'm in right now.
Well, yeah, or the struggles of the people that you're trying to help. What are the struggles of your people
Okay.
right now?
Okay. Um, Most of the people in the central prison of Conakry, or the majority of them, are on pretrial detention. Most of them are awaiting trial after spending years without being judged. They're in prison. Most of them have been there for like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years without being judged. So the goal of our organization is to fight that type of situation, because you can't keep people in prison for like 10 years without judging them. So my job as a legal officer is to quickly interview those who do not have lawyers before the hearing starts.
Wow, that's a long time. One of our questions from our audience over here, they were wondering what the difference is between your legal system and the one in the U.S. And I know that it's based on Guinea was colonized by France. So could you explain, maybe, do you know
Mhm.
differences in between the French system and the American system, and then why would somebody wait 6 years to be judged?
Yeah, I don't really know the legal system in the US, but
Okay.
ours here is almost like France's one.
Okay.
So in Conakry, where I live in Conakry, is the capital of Guinea.
Okay.
There's three in in Conakry. We have three instance courts. The first one is Kaloum. The second one is Dixon, and the third one is Mafanko. So we have a criminal permanence in all of the three courts. Those who when hello.
Yep, you're still here.
So our goal, when people come, those who have to be judged when they come, my job is to interview those who don't have lawyers.
Okay.
Yeah. So we immediately help them so they can be judged.
So you go to help them so they can be judged. You interview them if they can't find
Exactly. So and then
another
and then I
way.
forward the files to the lawyers, who read them immediately before the hearing starts.
Okay.
That's what we do.
So does a regular government give you say like a hard time? Do they give you trouble because you're doing this? How do you get paid? Are you considered a nonprofit?
No, our project is founded by European Union. European Union.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's good. Yeah. So when you go in there, the government, it's okay for you to go in and be the person to interview them in order to move their
Yeah,
story along.
I can go. I can get into the prison and
Hmm.
see whoever I want, and see
Okay.
whoever I want. Yeah.
So the three courts that you were naming, right? Is Kowloon, Dixon, and the other one. Are those neighborhoods
Mafanko.
or are they levels of courts? Because a question was, is each court different, or those are just the three that you work with?
They're not different. They're all the same, but they are
Okay.
not in the same neighborhood.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah. The first one is in Kowloon. That's like Kowloon is the first one.
Okay, the capital.
That's why they call it the first court. And then Dixon is the second one. After Dixon, it's Mafanko. But it's the same level. They're on the same level.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has so far been the most moving or the most difficult scenario that you'd have to deal with? Like, do you make a connection with the people that you interview, and is it hard to, sometimes help them to get what they need, the justice that they need after sitting there for maybe 6 years? Is that difficult?
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult because sometimes when I meet people there, when it tell me their story,
Hmm.
it's very difficult to handle it. But a lot of people there have been there for like 10 years and they've been waiting to get judged, and they don't know what they are gonna face.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes I almost cry for them.
Right. Do you, in that case, do you also connect with their families and hear their side of the story as well?
Yeah, before we start helping people, we get all the informations about them, family, where they live, and everything. So when they get judged, before they get out of the prison, we are the one who go there. We are the ones who go there so they can get out, and we take them to their home.
Are all these, are all the people that you're going in and talking to or you're representing, are all of these charges of criminal background, or could they be like legal things that people forgot? Like over in the US, maybe if they had too many speeding tickets in a car, they might go to jail. But like, are these cases that you deal with more difficult or criminal in background?
Does it seem like he dropped off the call truck?
I think, but it seemed like you just joined in too.
Okay, so he's back on.
I think so.
So,
Hello.
Hi,
yeah,
Mohammed. All right.
you good?
Oh,
Hello.
there you are. Still there?
Hello.
Can you hear us? You're good.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So
Sorry, my network is really bad, so I'm struggling here.
no problem. No problem. So the question is most of the cases that you deal with of criminal background, or could it be something else?
No, not criminal. Most of them aren't criminal. So, but a lot of them are basic crimes.
Did you?
Correctional.
Oh, correctional. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
In terms of being there or waiting to be seen or judged for 6 to 10 years, why isn't the government doing anything about this? Or what, I mean, you're helping a great deal, but why aren't they trying to figure out how they can speed that along?
Yeah, the governor is trying to change things, but it's not easy. It's
Right.
not that easy. Yeah, we are trying to help them too, because what we are doing here is really benefit to them.
Okay. Oh, you can
they are
go.
trying to do what they can, but it's not that easy, because the judicial system is really it's not only the government, but everyone has to do something about it.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
because over one of our questions from one of our kids, over here in the U.S., we're supposed to get a quick trial, and if we don't get a quick trial, that's kind of frowned upon and looked at as illegal itself. So that's why we were wondering, like, is it looked at as illegal for somebody to be there for 6 years before they're judged?
Yeah, it's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal. It's illegal, but they don't really care, since they treat them like criminals. They treat them like criminals, so they don't really care if they spend even 10 years there. They don't really care.
That's very sad.
Chuck,
can
can
you
I
give
ask a
us?
question?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
Mo, what would you say is how to go about fixing this, right? So the government is trying to help. The correction officers are treating people like criminals, even though they don't even know if they did something or not. Like, based on your work, where is the actual problem and how do we fix it? How do you guys?
Hello?
Yeah, so I said, and how do you
Yeah,
guys, fix it?
can you repeat your question? I can't hear you well. Can you repeat it?
I was saying, based on what you're saying, there's a lot of people that are doing the wrong things.
Okay.
Like the government is trying to help the
Mm-hmm.
correctional people in jail, people who have the people in jail. The jails are treating them like criminals, even when they're not judged. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you say is the actual problem in the system, and what do you think people can do to fix it?
The the big problem is, in our country, judges really don't care if you did something or not. Since the one the one who's trying to get you to prison, since he has power, if he has power, then you can't do anything about it. So what I'm trying to say is, they have to treat everyone the same. If they don't treat everyone the same, it's going to continue, and nothing's going to be done. That's what I'm trying to say.
Do the people who you talk to or interview and try to help know what their rights are?
Most of them don't know.
Oh,
Most of them don't know.
and
And that's the sad part about it.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they know? This is a weird question. Do they know that they do not know? And then is there a way that do they get educated while they're there?
Before you finish, I'm going to tell you something.
Sure.
Sometimes when we help people and they get out of prison, someone who spent like 5 years in prison, and and he takes like 3 years. When we tell them, do you know that you can pursue the government for this? You know what they tell them? What they tell us?
What?
They tell us, since I'm out, I don't care. I just wanted to get out of prison.
I mean,
I
yeah,
just wanted to get
I
out of
suppose
prison,
so,
and
yeah.
since I'm out, I'm cool. I'm not gonna pursue the government. I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And geez, yeah, I could see that too. I feel as though that maybe if I was in that position, I would think the same way. You know, because it's long enough where I would just go, yeah, I'll move on.
Exactly.
So do you ever want to be a lawyer at the end? Because I feel like what you're doing is such a good job representing people. So
Yeah,
go on?
what I do is almost what lawyers do. The only thing I cannot do is to go to the court
Okay.
and 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 defend people. That's the only thing I cannot do. But I'm thinking about it. Most of my colleagues want me to do it, so I'm thinking about
Well, they must want that because you're doing a good job at what you're doing.
it. Thank you.
So you have your master's degree. What other kind of schooling did you take part in order to get, like, what was your journey like for school to get to where
In
you are?
in in high school or
Oh
something.
yeah, like high school and then but in college, what else did you study? Like over in the US, we'll do like 4 years of one degree and then do our master's. Like, was there anything else that you were studying or interested in before you
Yeah.
got into this career path?
No, I've in high school I did math. It's incredible because I did math in high school, and then I finished studying law in university. It's just crazy. Yeah, and I did 3 years for my license in public law,
Okay.
and then 2 years in for my master's degree.
Now, somebody was whispering in my ear and they said that you went to school in Morocco
Yeah,
instead of
exactly.
Guinea. So why did you go
Mhm.
to Morocco instead of Guinea if they had different education systems?
Yeah, you don't know Guinea, but I'm gonna tell you something. Our country's education is not that
Right.
great. It's
Yeah.
not that great. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why my mother always wanted me to go outside, like
Yeah.
in another country to study. That's why I got out of Guinea.
So another question would be, if you were to go to law school, where would you go?
In France.
In France?
Yeah, I was in France from September to December
Hmm.
in a law firm. In a law firm,
Wow.
yeah, in Paris.
Did you learn
It's
a lot from
called
them?
yeah, it's called Charles Morel Avocat. It's a law firm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there for an internship.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you speak wonderful English? How did you learn English?
Well, I learned English by myself since I was a kid. I really loved English, so I went to England twice,
Okay.
and I tried to improve my English. So that's
Did you
it.
did you improve it in a school or did you just like what did
Yeah,
you do in England while you were there?
yeah. I had like 6 months courses,
Oh
six
wow.
months. Yeah, I only did 6 months in school, and I did the rest by myself.
Reading a lot of books?
Exactly,
Yeah, right.
and watching a lot of movies.
Oh, there we go. What's your
Yeah,
favorite movie?
my
That's
favorite
English.
movie
Yeah.
in English, it's The Wolf of Wall Street.
Wow, really? Ah,
Yeah,
wow. I have not seen that movie,
yeah, that movie is amazing. It's
but
so
I
great.
heard it has a lot of bad words in it, and so
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
kids
yeah.
watching at home, don't watch that movie until you're 18.
That's
So
true.
for the educational purposes, more this week we have a team of global citizen, and
Okay.
the question about the education system came up, and I kind of wanted to explain the differences in the two system. Is that okay
Okay.
with you?
Sure.
No problem. You can do it.
And
No
Chuck,
problem.
perfect. So,
Absolutely.
so, so Guinea and the U.S. have two different systems. And by the way, everyone, my name is Mariama, and I work for the council. Um, and we have our system is similar to France, and the way in which it works is elementary school ends in 7th grade. From 7th grade, from 8th grade to 10th grade, we consider that high school, and then you do 11, 12, and 13th. So there's a grade after 12 afterwards, and all of this is like the K through 12, K through 13, whatever. And then from there you go to school, you go to college. But between 11 and 13, you start to specialize in what you want to do. So that's where he said he did math, and then some people would do social studies, other people would do the medical field, and usually
Exactly.
from there people will go to college in their specific branches. So if you did medicine in that period, you're more likely to go figure out what you want to do in the medical field. If you did social studies, you would do something else. And he did math, surprisingly, and then still went on to be a lawyer. So I kind of wanted to create that distinction. And then in college, I didn't do college there, so I don't, more correct me if I'm wrong, but I
Okay.
think the bachelor's is 3 years, right? Licence
Yeah,
une is
exactly.
3 years.
It's a license degree, 3 years,
Yeah, and
just
then
like in France.
from there it's the master's, right? Esker,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's 3 years for a bachelor's degree, quote unquote, and then 2 years to do your master's degree. So it's kind of set up a little bit differently than the U.S. educational system.
yeah. But people don't really get master's degrees in Guinea because there's only 1 year. So you do 1 year here and then you go to another country because you can't get your master's degree in Guinea.
Well, it makes me feel as though I should have gone somewhere else for all my degrees. Time frames are wonderful. And I really appreciate it. I don't know if anybody in the audience thinks the same way, that maybe having a 13th grade, so to speak, or maybe to delineate a different age range or grades, and then starting to focus on something that you want to do when you grow up, as they say. Like, so to focus on math or to focus on social studies in an earlier age range, like maybe 16, 17, 18. I think that maybe that idea of a school system in my head would have made sense for what I'm doing. So it's interesting to see the comparison between both countries.
Yeah.
Would
But in
you? Oh, no, go.
when I was a kid, my mother motivated me to do math because she wanted me to be a businessman, and that's what I wanted to be. But when I grew up, I knew that I was great at social studies. So I told my mother I don't really want to be a businessman anymore. So I really wanted to be a lawyer. And then she told me, "There you go. You can do whatever you want." So that's why I choose to do law.
Did you end up doing anything in business at all?
Yeah. When I was in Morocco, I created my own uh, clothing brand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're a peacekeeping accountant who loves taking care of people and creating clothing brands. It seems like you're well versed in a lot of things.
Yeah, a little bit.
Was it hard or difficult to start your own clothing brand, or what happens after it was created? Did you sell it and then go back to helping people?
No, I wasn't doing that at that
Okay.
time.
Oh,
Yeah, I was in college. I was still a student.
okay.
So yeah, I created my brand, and I used to sell it to my friends, and then my friends used to talk about it to other people. That's how he grew up. But
Yeah.
but before I come back to Guinea, I stopped it.
All
But I
right.
think I'm gonna do it later. Yeah.
And that would be, do you feel like that would be like a good thing to do, or you can get back into it easily, is what I mean.
Not really, because right now I'm focused on my job.
Good.
I don't know if I can do both at the same time, but
Right.
I'm trying to find the right time to do it.
All right. So with that, right? So with all that heart that you have being focused on the job and all the good things you do right now, um, we're at our last couple of seconds, so we have one more question. Do you have any hope that things will be different in Guinea moving forward?
Yeah, I have hope because that's why I'm still have hope. I wouldn't doing it. I have hope because things are gonna change one day. Things are gonna change, but it's gonna take time because right now the system is really, it's not really good, but it's gonna change one day. I have hope.
Oh,
Hello?
hey, no, we're here. We missed the last little bit that you were saying. If you could repeat it.
Ah, okay. I was saying, hello?
Yep, it's still here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I was saying that things are going to change one day. If I didn't have hope, I wouldn't continue doing it. If I'm still doing it because I have hope, things are going to change. Maybe
That's. Oh no.
maybe if we get a greater president, things are going to change.
Well, I know that right now you're sounding with all that hope, with all that positive attitude, and with all the talk of change, you're sounding like a President Obama who we used to have. So maybe with your help, there'll be much
Yes,
change.
we can.
Yes, we can. So thank you so much for coming. Yeah, thank you for doing this. This is great and taking time out of your. What time is it over there?
It's 7:36,
Oh, at night?
7 p.m.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening and talking to us.
you're
This has been
welcome.
great.
It was a
I wish you,
pleasure. It was a
I wish
pleasure.
you so much luck. Thank you so much. This was great.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Thank you too for inviting me. It was a pleasure and bye.
Bye, Mo.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.